Operating cybernetics.
Talk to him now.
AT, Andre.
Come on, Dre.
Yep. Trippin with Let's Go. Woo! Trippin with Theobold.
What's your name?
Theoso Bold.
Yeah.
Driggity. Let's go. Trippin with Theobold. Trippin.
What are we doing?
Trippin with Theobold.
Come on, Dre.
Mic check 1 2, we on? Hey, what's going on, y'all? And welcome to the 56th episode of Trippin with Theobold. I'm your host, Andre Theobold, and as you guys can see, I'm over here in front of Shaw's Steakhouse. Boom, Shaw's Steakhouse, if y'all can see it. I'm over here on Fillmore Ave, off of Fillmore Ave in Buffalo. I had to pull up. You know, this is one of my mom's and my favorite spots to come to and eat when we come to Buffalo. Before we go any further, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tell a friend to tell a friend. I'm gonna go ahead and pop in this chat right quick, so give me 1 quick second. You know how YouTube likes to quote unquote make things difficult, so we are going to go ahead and just work with the environment that I have been given. Okay, so here we go. I got the chat plugged in. See what else we got going on here, man. I'm all over the place this morning. Sorry I'm late. You know, my bad for being late, guys, you know, but as you know, you pay for what you get. You know, I know I said I was gonna start around 9 or 9ish. Had to handle some things for work, so my apologies, but nonetheless, we are here. So as you guys can see, got on some semi-vintage Buffalo stuff, you know, some semi-vintage Buffalo stuff. I got on my beard looking kind of, there we go, boom. You know, I got on my, see, I don't like wearing red hats, man, because, you know, I don't want to be mistaken for a Trump supporter and shit, you know, so, but this was the hat that the Bills had way before Trump got in office or whatever, you know. Matter of fact, this was the hat that Terrell Owens wore when we signed him, when he came up. I think he came from the Cowboys. Yeah. So this was a hat that Terrell Owens wore in his press conference. You know what I'm saying? So I had to get it at the time, and I still got it. I just don't wear it like that, you know. And then I got on a Believe 1.0 shirt. This is when Buffalo first started doing the Believe logo stuff, right? Under Reebok. So this is under the Reebok threads, Believe. So I still got, I think I have like 1 or 2 of these shirts, you know. This is one of my favorite shirts, you know. So okay, done plugging Buffalo Bills stuff. Let's see what else we got going on here, man. Yeah, let me go ahead and just follow the flow of the show. Let me go ahead and go with the flow. But yeah, so today we're gonna talk shop. You know, today's episode is titled "Don't Shit Where You Eat," and it's a this is a very timely podcast, right? It's a very timely topic, right? Because, you know, of things that have happened in the NBA, but we are going to get there in a second. But as you guys know, I like to tie my favorite or tie Buffalo Bills of past and present to my episodes. So today's episode 56, is tied to none other than the great Daryl Talley, aka Spider-Man. Right? Daryl Talley, man, he's one of the unsung heroes in Buffalo, man, during the 90s, you know, because a lot of the Bills that got, you know, noted, like a lot of the Bills that got the recognition was like Jim Kelly, Thurman Thomas, Andre Reed, and then on the defense, you know, Bruce Smith, right? That's like the only defensive player, well, he's like our top tier quality defensive player of all time, but Daryl Talley was right there behind him, man. You know, Daryl Talley and Cornelius Biscuit Bennett, you know. But Daryl Talley, man, like I specifically like remember his Spider-Man overtime. I think he was like one of the first players to wear the thermal underneath his jersey. I'm not sure if that's even thermal or not, but I remember watching the games and thinking, man, that's cool, yo. Like he got the one, and that's dope how it's like Spider-Man on one sleeve. It got the web on one sleeve, man. You know, so Daryl Talley, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to him. One of my favorite unsung Buffalo Bills of all time. You know, he was so I have an old VHS tape. See, and you guys can't even find this VHS tape. I have this old VHS tape. I have this it's this VHS tape called NFL Rocks. All right, it's called NFL Rocks, and it's a collection of hits, you know, of all the players. When this was like pre-CTE era, where like people were getting a bell rung, you know, helmet shots, you know, gladiator football, you know. So I got that VHS tape, man, and Daryl Talley is like all on that tape, just talking shit and hitting, you know. He's like, tighten up and get up. You know, like he's always like giving his little pep talk on the sidelines. That's the one thing I remember on that video. Come on, y'all, tighten up and get up. Yeah, man. So shout out to Daryl Talley, man. Come on, Dre. You know, I had a little hiccup right there. You guys know what this show is about. Anywho, what else we got going on here, man? Oh yeah, we gotta do my tongue twisties, you know. Speaking of come on, Dre, we gotta do my tongue twisties. And as you guys know, you know, I like to start off my show doing some tongue twisters. I call them tongue twisties. So since today is the 22nd of today's the 23rd of the month, you know, V is the 22nd letter of the alphabet. So we're gonna go ahead and stick with the V's, right? I should have went to the 23rd letter of the alphabet, but whatever. Okay, so here we go. Let's go ahead and run down these tongue twisties right quick. That one, tongue twisty one. Valuable Valley Villas. Is it villas or villas? No. Valuable Valley Villas. One more time. Say it with me. Valuable Valley Villas. Number 2. Victor's friend Vincent rinsed his vest in vinegar. Say it with me. Victor's friend Vincent rinsed his vest in vinegar. 2 down, 3 to go. Number 3. Vincent vowed vengeance very vehemently. Vincent vowed vengeance very vehemently. Number 4. Violet is very vivacious. Say it with me. Violet is very vivacious. The last one. The view over Dover is overly vivid. Say it with me. The view over Dover is overly vivid. Boom. We got the tongue twisties out the way. You know, got my mouth all worked out. Pause. So that's the end of that. Let's go ahead and do some promotion right quick. See where I didn't even add this to the man. It's production. Do it yourself productions, right? Anyways, man, let me just go and do it, man. So first and foremost, man, I definitely gotta plug this, but shout out to my grandma, Congressman Higgins, my late grandma. You know, they finally passed a bill to put my grandma's name on this post office, man. This is very heartwarming. It's very significant. It's a little overdue, but I mean, this really means a lot to like me and my family because it's not just her name going on a random building. Like everything came full circle, you know. So it's dope that they made this happen. Like it just made sense that they had to do this, you know. As you guys know, my grandma served in World War II. You know, she was part of the 688, where they were called overseas to go and sort backlogs of mail for the soldiers. You know, their motto was no mail, low morale. So you can basically think of these women that went over there as the internet before the internet. You know, they kept families connected, you know. But anyways, my grandma was always like big. She was always big into mail. You know, she was always really big into like, you know, like sending postcards and stuff like that. So when she was overseas, she would send my mom's grandma a postcard. And my mom always thought it was weird why she would do that because my mom's grandma couldn't read, you know what I'm saying? But my grandma did it for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like she just liked the fact that she could exercise, you know, her ability to communicate with people and family. And on top of that, when I was in college, or even when I was young and at home, my grandma always made me like write her, like she gave me a stack of like cards and I had to write her like once a month, and she would give me money and I would feel weird about that. She would send me a check for like $20-$25 or whatever. Wink, wink. But she would send me some cash, but I felt weird because I'm like, yo, that's grandma. I don't need money to write grandma, I got the phone right here. Let me just pick up the phone and call, but she wanted to like use the postal service, that was her thing. She was always about the mail. And when she got older, she was always funny about the mail. Like she would always like check the mailbox. Like her life revolved around like the mail, and just being able to communicate with people, pay bills, and she went to this post office. Like this was her post office that she went to, Matter of fact, I had to drop her a few times to come and drop off some packages or pick up some mail. And the fact that we're coming back full circle and her name is going to be on it, or they're naming this post office after her is just dope. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to, Congressman Higgins and, Edna. Thank you so much, man. Like these are the people that were, or that are, super influential in making all this happen. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to all them. Shout out to my late grandma. This is dope. I have another landmark place that I can go back and visit, every time I go to Buffalo, I'm going here. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go to the post office. I got to point the right way. Yeah, I'm gonna go to the post office and then I'm gonna go to Shy's, get me a Shy's sandwich, give me a Shy's sub, So I got my spots all lined up in Buffalo whenever I go back home to visit, So shout out to that, man. Big news, great news. What else? Also, man, shout out to my bro DJ As Is. It was his birthday yesterday, you know what I'm saying? I went out last night, stopped in, popped in to go wish my brother happy birthday, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to him. A major reason why I have this podcast, or the reason why I'm doing this, is because of As Is, he, like, during the pandemic, he was like really encouraging me to, get a podcast going, or just work with like get a Ustream going, or get a live stream going, and first I started like filming the videos, and I would edit them on like iMovie, which I know I shouldn't do, but I'm working on that. But he really encouraged me he's like, nah, man, do that live stream. I'm like, nah, I got to get my following up before I do a live stream, because I don't want to be in here talking to people or talking to nobody. He was like, nah, you got to build it and they'll come, just build it, because it's a different muscle, it's a different energy. Whenever you're doing something live versus doing something that's pre-recorded, the energy is different. Like when you do a live stream, there's no retake, there's no cut, there's no cut ups, there's no redo. You just got to keep going with it, But when you shoot something that's like produced or that's pre-produced, you can stop, chop, edit, start over, and all that. So anyways, man, shout out to Benji, man. I mean, As Is, it's his birthday or whatever. So yeah, man, shout out to him. Also, I had to get another pair of Hokas. I'm not even sure if I'm saying the name right. Is it Hoka or Hoka? But man, I'm in love with Hoka running shoes, man. Hoka to me is like quietly becoming the standard of running shoes, even walking shoes, man. I had a pair, bought a black pair about a year ago, I think. Nah, maybe like half a year ago. And those things, when you put them on your feet, I got them Bondi 7s, man. And when you put them things on your feet, man, yeah, them things is comfortable. So I had to, so those are like my workout shoes. But I went ahead and I got me another pair. I got me a gray pair just to like kind of, to go step out in, So those aren't my workout ones. These are like more of like just walking out. If I'm gonna step out somewhere, or if I don't want to put on the dope kicks, because you guys know I'm a sneakerhead. I collect sneakers. I know it's a bad habit, but that's what I do. But a lot of times I don't feel like wearing like my sneakers out like that. I don't like wearing my dope kicks out, man, because I had this thing what happened last week? I was out and I wore I think I had my mellows on, and whenever you wear a pair of shoes that like you don't want to get messed up, that's where all the bullshit come around, right? That's where people come around with the drinks, spilling shit, like, hey, what's going on, Dre? Hey, what's going on? I'm like, man, back the fuck up, man. My shoes, Nick. Back the fuck up. You know? Everybody wants, like, or if you have a drink in your hand, you're drinking, and someone wants to come up to you and give you a strong handshake. Hey, what's up, Dre? Pap, and then the drink all spills out, and like, oh man, my shoes, man. What the fuck? So I don't like that headache, man. So so a lot of times, so I got some basic hokers to where I'm like, they're walking around chill shoes or whatever, and if they get messed up, I'm not going to trip too bad yet. I mean, because I like my shoes to last for a little bit, and that's the secret to shoes, right? Is the more shoes you have, the less you wear them, the less wear and tear, right? So that's kind of like how I keep my shoes so fresh, is I rarely wear them, and I keep them cycling through, But anywho, enough shoe talk. Let's go ahead and get into some DFS talk, because as you guys know, I'm trying to like I'm gonna get this shit. I'm gonna get this DraftKings shit before the end of the year. I'm gonna figure this out, man, because I'm getting close. Like I'm looking at the data, holistically. I'm looking at data. I'm looking at the numbers and stuff. And I'm able to eyeball stuff and find certain trends. I have certain targets and I'm hitting my targets. But on the side, I'm also, learning my machine learning. I'm doing my machine learning training. So, so I can attack this battle on two fronts. I'm trusting my eyes on one front, and on the back end, just learning all the machine learning algorithm stuff, and I'm making sure that I know how to read in and process data, because a lot of this stuff you gotta let a computer crunch this shit up for you, So like I said, I'm gonna get this shit by hook or by crook, man. Because as you guys know, I'm not really a 9 to 5 kind of guy, I'm not a 9 to 5 kind of guy. Like a lot of people say they don't like 9 to 5s or they don't really do it, and they haven't really been entrenched in the 9 to 5 life. But I've been entrenched in the 9 to 5 life for about 16 years at least, and this shit ain't me, I know how to conduct myself. I know how to get by in it, but I'm trying to free myself. Like that's just me, I'm not saying 9 to 5s are bad if you guys work them. It's just not my cup of tea, But if I have to, I will. But if I don't, I won't. It's that simple. So, anyways, let's go ahead and get into some DFS talk, man. So, let's talk about my woes from last week, man. My DFS woes. So as you guys know, last week I didn't tell you. That's right. I gave you a hint. So one of my hints last week, I said one of my sleepers was, one of my sleepers first name rhymes with a dinosaur name, right? So a lot of you geniuses out there probably figured it out. Rex Burkhead. And as you guys know, Rex Burkhead ain't do shit yesterday. But it's coming. All right. It's not gonna be this week. Now I looked at the data, I looked at the numbers already. Rex not gonna do it tomorrow or Sunday. He's not gonna go off this weekend. But it's coming. I already know what game is coming. I circled it on the calendar. And yeah, and possibly 2 games, right? So I already got those games circled. But nah, so Rex Burkhead was my woe from last week. And then Leonard Fournette, something told me like it was just like it was weird. So the numbers said he was gonna go off, but the matchup said nah, don't mess with it. And plus it was a divisional game, So one thing I don't do is I don't play narratives, right? That's one thing I did. That's one of my fallacies I made in the past, right? Like one of my one of my mistakes or blunders I made in the past is I used to always look at scenarios, right? Or look at stories, and everyone was like, oh, well, Leonard Fournette's going back to the Superdome, and he's going back to LSU, same state where he played, and he wants to go make a name. Or oh, this is a revenge game for so and so. No, there's no such thing as a revenge game. These motherfuckers get paid money they probably these dudes are probably all best friends. You know, they probably all go hang out, kick it. You know what I'm saying? Fuck all the same hoes and shit. You know what I'm saying? These dudes is like family. You know, right? It's like I look at these dudes like politicians. You know, like a lot of y'all probably don't see it, but Trump, Kamala, and Biden probably all drink tea and talk shit together. You know, so that's why I don't really play the whole narrative shit. I look at the numbers. But the one thing that messed me up that I should have taken into consideration was um the fact that that the Buccaneers always struggle versus the Saints, especially in New Orleans. I should have just took that and said, you know what, it's gonna be a struggle game, and that's what it was. It was a struggle game. So Leonard Fournette and Rex Burkhead, both my running backs, like put up, I think maybe a combined 8 points. Let's double check. I think they put up a combined 8 points. I think. Let me see. Let me just check my numbers right quick. I think they put up a combined. Let me just go back and double check my numbers because I don't want to be talking foolishness. Excuse me. Okay, here we go. Yeah, no, well, okay, they put up about 12 points combined, but that's not gonna cut it, you know. But those are the only two. Like if I went a different direction, with those two picks at running back, y'all might have seen my DraftKings grin, right? Oh, sorry, you guys don't know it. So I didn't tell y'all what the DraftKings grin is, right? So the DraftKings grin is just when you see me smile and look comfortable and like shit not really bothering me and I'm just too relaxed. I didn't came up on the big one. I didn't hit the big one, right? So if you see me and I'm just smiling and shit, just I hit the big one, right? So anyways, as you guys can see, my face, I didn't hit the big one. So, but those were the only two picks I missed, right? I mean, I missed other picks, but these two picks would have gotten me into a whole different echelon of bread. So my wows, or the picks that I was successful with, were I called these picks from the start, but I picked Joe Flacco in all my lineups. Yeah, I had Joe Flacco in all my lineups. You know, so I didn't pick him from the top. I picked him from what was left over, right? I basically spent all my cash, and then I looked at the cheap quarterbacks, and then I said, you know what? Let me look at the history between Flacco versus the Browns. And I was like, you know what? Flacco been carving them Browns up year in, year out for the past like 6 years, you know? So I had to go with it. You know, his average fantasy value. Come on, Trey. His average fantasy value, or his average fantasy points versus the Browns, is like in the mid-20s. And he was like going for $5,100. So $5,100, I'll take 25 points for $5,100, you know? That was a no-brainer to me. Who else did I have? I had Tyreek Hill, obviously. You know, I looked at the numbers. I had to pick him in this situation. And then Amon-Ra St. Brown. That dude is a monster. Amon-Ra St. Brown, man, he gonna be a problem for a minute. So I picked him, got him pretty cheap, you know. But the two guys that I missed, that had great games or like career games, was one, Tua Tagovailoa. And this dude put up Dan Marino numbers out of nowhere. The Bills got to play these motherfuckers next week or this week, so I'm kind of nervous about that. And then Jalen Waddle. So who would have thought that it would have been Waddle, Tua, and Tyreek Hill? Like those guys put up combined, I think 150 just between the three of them, right? I think Waddle put up like high 40s. Tyreek Hill put up like mid 40s, and then Tua put up like 54. So they put up damn near 150 points. And how many points did I have? Shit. My point total in DraftKings was 192. So between those three players, they basically almost equaled what I had. So if you had those three guys in your lineups, man, and just picked like two more average players, man, you came up on some bread. Anyways, that was that. Who else we got going on, man? The last night was the Browns Steelers game, and I took the bait. I took the bait, man. I took the bait. Oh man, I feel like a fool. You know, I pity the fool. So I jumped in that. So I jumped in, right, and I always get got, man. DraftKings, damn it, you got me. You know, So DraftKings has this thing where they have, this whole thing where they're called milli makers, right? Where you put up some bread and you win a milli, right? So to me, anything $20 and under for a chance at a mill is a gimme. You got to do it, So they had the Captain Showdown mode with the Browns and the Steelers last night. They had them you get to pay $15 for the buy-in for a chance at a milli. And you know me, I ran my numbers, I did my analysis, thought I had it all figured out. And nope. Came in damn near dead last. And a matter of fact, here's the part that hurts, right? I was so confident in my theory that there was a last minute change, right? And this is where DraftKings fucks with people, man. Or this is where the league, this is where the whole like DFS thing just fucks with people, right? Like I had my lineup set like 2 days ago or 2 days before the game even came on. And I had one player. Who did I have? Let me tell you guys what I had. Like I had my golden bum already picked out. I had my golden bum. I was like, I'm picking this dude. I'm gonna ride this whole thing out with this one lineup, right? Told myself this, right? The dude that I was gonna rock with as my golden bum was, where's he at? I can't even find him now. Where's my golden bum at? Where's he at? Come on, man. No, it wasn't him. Who, man? 1 second. Yeah, my golden bum that I was gonna go with was Demetric Felton. That was my golden bum. Demetric Felton. Right? He was $400. And I was like, he's basically so he was like a 4-string running back. But I saw that he had a projection of 1 fantasy point and he was $400. And I looked at the matchups, I looked at the rankings of his opponent rankings and from last season, what he did, and he got some action. Not a lot, but it's like he got enough action to the point to where it's like, you know what, he may mess around and get a touchdown, get me 6-7 points. And that was my golden bum. But at the last second, man, damn it, at the last second, the Browns scratched him and said he was a healthy scratch. So then what that did was it elevated Chester Rogers, who they just signed, to the roster. Who I think he came from the Colts or the Texans. I know he played for the Colts back in some time, but Chester Rogers then jumped in, and I was like, damn, okay. So that messed me up. So then I basically swapped out Demetric Felton for Chester Rogers, but then I was like, he's a receiver. Yeah, he's gonna be doing punt returns. He might get a return back. And I should have done my research a little bit more because I'm not sure if Chester Rogers scores a touchdown. I'm not sure if that goes to the DST, Browns DST, or does that go to him? So I was like, man, he might do something if he gets points. That might be my golden bum. And then I had to go with D'Ernest Johnson, because D'Ernest Johnson was a beast when Nick Chubb got hurt last year. So I was like, it's very possible he could get in there, get a couple carries, and get me some points. Anything over 7 points for $200 is like golden, But I went ahead. Long story short, I did my analysis. I did all my research or whatever. So I ended up putting in 2 lineups when I was only going to put in 1 because the other guy got scratched, because Felton got scratched. Put up $30, man, and came in damn near last in both of them joints. So that's how DraftKings works, man. But anyways, if you guys follow DraftKings and the Captain Showdown modes or whatever, you guys know. Let me get a sip of water. My voice, I'm starting to sound like Doc Rivers and shit. Oh, my bad, Glenn Rivers. Because a lot of Philly fans is over Doc, man. They like, yo, he Glenn now. Until Glenn gets us a championship, his name is Glenn. Mama named Glenn, I'm gonna call him Glenn. Oh, that water was good, man. Nothing like a good cold glass of water in the morning. But anyways, where am I at? So Yeah, so if you guys follow the DraftKings Captain Showdown mode stuff, if you follow it, basically what you would have seen is last night the whole Millie pot got split. I don't know how many people it got split between, but first place was like $38,000, right? And that was a whole split all the way through, all the way up and down. And it was a weird night, man. It was a windy game, which is why I went with which is why I was going with an extra running back, right? Or like a bench running back like Dearness Johnson or Felton, because if it's that windy, you know, the ground game is going to be upgraded. They really can't kick, and we saw that last night. A lot of people missed easy field goals that they would have made if there was no wind. And then on top of that, you know, you got two quarterbacks that are not like, they're not top tier quarterbacks. So I could see them throwing the ball and that shit getting picked. You know what I'm saying? So I actually went with the Steelers defense because I didn't really trust I don't know. Like I like the Browns quarterback, man. What's his name? I'm blanking right now. I like the Browns quarterback, man, but like I said, I thought Pittsburgh's defense was gonna maybe get a pick six or something like that, you know, because I read the numbers, right? See, a lot of times the numbers don't always add up, but you got to play the numbers, you know. So, but it was a weird line. It was a weird winning lineup. It was a weird perfect lineup in my opinion, because you had both quarterbacks in the perfect lineup, you know, with the wind, you know. Jacoby Brissett, there you go. So I'm just blanking. And then like I said, my golden bum, 'cause I had two lineups. So my golden bums were Dearness Johnson and in one lineup, and then Chester Rogers in another lineup. But the golden bum ended up being the Cleveland Browns, and you really can't call the Browns defense a golden bum, because they're valued in the thousands rather than in the hundreds or low hundreds. So it was a weird lineup, and most of the money was all spent, you know. Like I thought tonight was going to be one of those nights where the perfect lineup left $8,000 on the board, you know, but they only left $300 on the board, you know. So that's what DraftKings does, man. That's DraftKings for your ass. What else we got going on, man? So anyway, let me go ahead and tell you some of my sleepers for this week's upcoming. I'm not gonna tell you. I'm gonna give you some hints, because you know I need to get my money first. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna give y'all some hints, and then you can apply them however you want to apply them, or do whatever you want to do. But here we go. Let me go ahead and show you some of mine. So, okay, so in the receiving group, one of my sleepers, last name sounds like a lizard, you know. I basically gave you the name. Who else is one of my sleepers for this week, man? Okay, one of my sleepers last names rhymes with Cheerios. Yeah, Cheerios. One of my last name, like one of my sleepers last names rhymes with Cheerios. Who else do we got? That's all I'm going to give you for the receiving group. Actually, no, I'll give you one more. This is a big one too. I think this one, I think you're gonna go off. But his first name can be a verb, and it's something that cave people did back in the day, right? So I'm gonna let y'all put two and two together and see if y'all can't make you a sandwich and shit with that. And who else I got? At the running back spot, one of my sleepers, well, these aren't really sleepers, but one of my sleepers may have been one of the running backs I mentioned last week, you know, or may have been someone I've already mentioned in this episode. So go back and listen, you know, to this episode, and you know, maybe it's one of those guys. I don't know. I'm just saying. Who else? One of my sleepers I'm probably gonna play a lot of. Kind of looks like Juicy Smoulier, or what's his name? Dave Chappelle is a fool, man. I can't think of the dude's real name now, man. Is it uh is it Justin Smollett? I just call him Juicy now because of because of Dave, man. I call this dude Juicy Smoulier. Nah, but one of the dudes looks like Juicy Smoulier, you know? So if you guys play fantasy football, if you guys get into the lineups and look at profiles, you guys know who I'm talking about. And then who else is one of my sleepers, man? Another one of my sleepers, uh has a last name that has a first name that sounds almost like my first name, but it's a hood version of my joint. So and he's a running back. So those are my sleepers. You guys go ahead and you know, talk amongst yourselves. See if you know who I'm talking about. Cause like I said, I'm not giving y'all this shit for free, you know. But I'm gonna give y'all something, you know, because I gotta make sure y'all watch and tune in, you know. See if anyone tuned into my show now. See if anyone tuned in. Nope, no one tuned in. Okay, no big deal. We're gonna keep pushing along. And then quarterback. My sleeper quarterback so far, the numbers that I ran, I gotta go back and run my numbers again. But yeah, a lot of people are gonna go double up on Flacco again. I'm not gonna go with that because Flacco's value went up, and we know what Flacco does from time to time. So I'm gonna ease off that. But my quarterback sleeper, part of his first name is the name of a sandwich, right? From a very popular restaurant. So there you have it. I gave y'all hints to like 3 of my sleepers, you know, or sleepers across 3 positions. You know, you guys can figure out the rest. But when we come back next week, I'm gonna tell you exactly who my sleepers were, who I was referring to, and then we'll pick up from there. So let's go ahead and get on to the main topic of the show, man. Let's go and get into the main topic. Main topic of the show is you guys see the title, you know, not a surprise. But don't shit where you eat. Right? Don't shit where you eat. You know, like I used to do this joke. It's a stupid joke, but it's kind of a true joke actually. I used to do this joke, man, where I said, how's it go? I was like, yeah, man, old heads be giving some of the craziest advice. You know, like I was at the gym working out one day, and you know, saw this like thick My Little Pony built chick working out, and this old dude came up to me and was like, hey man, he's like, yo, if you like what you see, why don't you go holler at that? And I was like, her? I'm like, nah, I can't get at her, man. She works at my job, you know, like me and her share an office. And I don't like to, you know, I don't like this shit where I eat, you know. And he says, oh no, you got it all wrong, player. It's okay to shit where you eat as long as you don't shit on your plate. Well, look at this situation, right? This dude shat on his plate and tried to eat his shit at work. This is a rookie mistake, man. Udoka, man. I had. Come on, man. You got know better than this, champ. For those that don't know, Ime Udoka, head coach of the Boston Celtics, man. He's facing a potential season-long suspension for having inappropriate relations with a member or members on his staff, right? So from a moral standpoint, I don't see anything wrong with having relations with people that you work with, but it's something that I just don't fuck with. It just doesn't make sense, you know? Like you don't like that's where you make your bread. That's how you eat, you know? That's how you eat. So why would you like, you know, I don't know, man. Like I'm real funny about that shit, you know, because I've like I said, I've been in the corporate sector for for a good chunk of my life, and I've seen a lot of bullshit happen in the corporate sector, and I know what goes on, and I've seen all types of crazy shit, man. You know, I've seen like I've seen like I said heads of, no, not head, pause. I've seen heads of departments, or I've seen what else? I've seen like directors, people that are like high up, like board of directors. I've seen people like at that level get busted for a prostitution ring at one of my jobs, you know? And I'm not snitching. It made the news, you know? So if it made the news, it's all fair game, you know? But I've seen all types of crazy. I'm like, yo, why would y'all do this dumb shit? Like, why would y'all do this dumb shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, here's the thing, right? Like 2 jobs ago, I was dating this one chick, and she thought it would be fun to like drive by my job at like 9 o'clock at night and smash in my cube. I'm like, bitch, no, what the fuck, no. And she got mad at me. Oh, you take your job too serious. You gotta loosen up. You gotta lighten up. I'm like, bitch, this is how I make my money. I'm not gonna fuck my money up over you. Come on now. And my job was like a little measly job back then. So, you know, I'm like, nah, I need this chump change right now. Too bad, you know? But anyways, that's besides the point. But like I said, from the stuff I've seen, and just even the corporate training I've taken, right? Because the corporate training is very, 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 a lot of people don't pay attention to that shit. Like, I know, so in my job, we did this one corporate training where the rule was like, they said that like, well, basically they said harassment doesn't just happen in the workplace. It can also happen outside of work and still be applicable to work, right? Think about that shit, right? So they gave like these little scenarios, right? Like they had this one scenario where they said, hey, Bob likes Sue, and you know, Sue came up to, or Bob went up to Sue and asked Sue on a date. Sue declined, you know, that wouldn't be harassment, right? But if Bob came up again and asked her on a date again, or asked her out again, that would be grounds for harassment, right? And I'm not saying Udoka was found guilty of harassment. I'm just painting a bigger picture why you don't fuck around at work, you know? And then the one rule that got me in my one company, they said that even if you guys like, so basically right now I'm paraphrasing, right? But basically, if Bob goes out to a bar, and then if Sue happens to go to the same bar, and if Bob does anything inappropriate at this bar outside of work to Sue, Sue can come in and claim harassment on Bob, right? Because the workplace can follow you outside of work, right? Which is why I stay the far as fuck away from people. And look, I'm an asshole at work, all right? I'll go and put it out there, right? Like, I'll smile with you and shit. I keep my mouth shut. People be like, yo, Dre, why are you so quiet? Come on, man, lighten up. You know, and they want to do all this team building shit. I don't want to do that shit. Just give me the work I got to do so I can go home. Like, I ain't got time for this. I remember, man, my last company, we did all this team building shit. We went on canoe rides. We were out there doing this canoe race. Then we did a ropes course to try to build trust to help us walk over these ropes. And I still ain't trust them motherfuckers at work. I ain't trust them motherfuckers, man. Because look, the same people that was helping, like the same people that were helping me, guiding me across the ropes course, were the same people that knew that I was on the cut list when I got laid off during the pandemic, and they ain't say shit. And that's cool. Maybe they couldn't have said nothing then, but it's been 2.5 years after the pandemic. Not one person, you know, reached out, or not one of the people that cut me reached out and said, hey man, just want to check in to see how it's going. Like no email, no text, no phone, no nothing. No, hey, how's it going? Hey, just want to make sure you're cool. So that just makes shit real awkward for me, because now when I see him in public, I gotta keep it a buck. I gotta keep it a buck when I see him in public, you know? Like first of all, I'm not gonna go up to him and say shit. But if they come to me on some rerun, hey, what's happening type shit, I'm gonna be like, why do you care? And then they're gonna be like, what? No, look, you don't care, right? The only reason why you're speaking to me now is because you don't want to make this shit awkward, right? So I'm gonna make it extra awkward for you by keeping it a buck. You don't give a shit about me. I don't give a shit about you. Have a nice day and keep that shit moving, right? Like I'm not mad that I got laid off. Well, I'm disappointed that I got laid. Well, actually, no, I'm actually getting laid off was the best thing for me. So I'm not mad at that. I'm mad at the fact that, these motherfuckers act like they were trying to build trust and they were trying to and they actually cared. And they didn't, And I don't like playing make-believe Muppet Babies relationship shit with people at work. I don't like that shit. I don't like walking on eggshells. Like, I don't like doing it at work. So there's no way in the fuck I'm doing that shit when I'm out in public, free, minding my own business. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, I know I went off on like a little rant there, but when it comes to work, man, you gotta treat work like a bathroom stall, right? You go to the bathroom stall, you do your business, you come out, you wash your hands, you go home, right? All that putting up pictures and shit on your desk of your wife, your husband, kids, all man, take that shit down. Like that's not the place for work, yo. That's why I love working remote, I love working remote because I don't got to worry about decorating my cube or first of all, I cut that shit out. I used to have Legos all on my cube. I used to buy like a Lego set every pay period, to show that I'm happy, that I'm grateful that I made it to another pay period. I would get I'll get a small Lego kit set, build it up, put it up, and have little decoration on my cube because I wanted to, show that I was creative and all that. But that's not the place for that. Work isn't the place for that. Work is a bathroom stall. You go there, you drop your load, you come out, you wash your hands, you go home. Right? Now, some people want to make work home. When you make work home, you're going to have situations like this. Right? When you try to not be about that work and that business, you're going to end up like this. You're going to end up in situations where you're going to fuck off bread. And to me, that's the whole reason why we go to work. Right? I go to work to get money. Some people go to work because they want to feel like they're a part of something or whatever, or they want to be like a fam. Okay, cool. That's what you want to do. Knock yourself out. But when these motherfuckers cut you because it's time to go, it's time to go. Like you can't out talk or out swindle or, sweet talk your way back in. Like it don't work like that. Right? I get work. Right? These motherfuckers is not your friends. They are coworkers. You go to work for business. So anyways, even so, here's the thing, right? To me, from a moral standpoint, there's nothing wrong morally with having relations with someone that you work with. But it's just not smart, because of the climate that we're in, right? Like if you're a dude and if you're a head coach or if you have power on your team and someone underneath you is this chick and she's bad, it can, even if you sign NDAs and even if you basically have whatever what is that shit called? It's a clause. They make you sign this because at my one job I was in, they make you sign the shit because I had a friend of mine that was dating this one chick and they had to sign this agreement, or it's like a confidentiality thing or whatever, to make sure that they wouldn't share secrets with what they were working on with their partner or whatever. And where's I going with this? So basically, when you're in that situation, if you have rank over that person and the person underneath you is a female, even if you play by the rules 100%, you can still end up getting fucked over because the chick could be like, well, I was afraid to do this because he's my superior and I date him, so now it's like you as the man are gonna get you're gonna get hit with the hammer twice, so that's why I just wouldn't do it, yo. When it comes to doing business and work, you just don't smash who you work with, man. Matter of fact, you don't even have best friends with who you work with because you got to get work done, I'd rather work with an enemy than to work with a best friend on my job, Because when you work with an enemy, right? Let me take that back. I'd rather work with a competent energy. I said energy. I'd rather work with a competent enemy, right? Because I had an enemy at my last job, but he was a dumb enemy. Like, and it was a fruitless exercise, you know. But when you work with, I worked with a competitive enemy or a competent enemy, and a lot of work got done because I had something to prove to him. He had something to prove to me. We were about that work. We didn't hang out. I didn't call this motherfucker phone. Like, it was competitive, but it was a healthy competitiveness, right? So, but now, man, it's like, you know, you don't shit where you eat, man. Don't shit where you. I try to tell people this all the time, man. Just don't do it. You know, when people ask me to go hang out and get drinks and do this, I'm like, man, I'm busy. Hey, man, how come you always busy? How come you don't want to come be with the team? I'm like, man, because I done been around y'all motherfuckers all day. I done been around y'all 8 hours. I don't need to be around y'all for another 2 or 3. I got shit to do, man. You know? But nah, man, like I said, man, so when we look at Ime Udoka right now, right? He done. You know? Like, I hope he keeps his job. I hope other thing, right? I hope he keeps his job because I don't like seeing people getting like fired over something like this. But there's really no way. There's really nowhere for him and the Celtics to go. There's nowhere. There's nowhere for them to go because even if the Celtics don't punish him or they lighten up the punishment, he's gonna be in the media answering questions about this shit. And if you're trying to win championships or if you're trying to win basketball games, you got to be focused. So his mind isn't even going to be on coaching basketball right now. And also, too, I think one of the star players like ratted him out, you know? So there's something going on within that organization to where they got to, was it Brad Stevens is the GM now, I think, right? So he's going to find another coach. I mean, Brad Stevens is the guy that is the guy that's going to build. He's the architect for all this shit. But they got to move in a different direction, in my opinion, with the head coach not because he did anything egregious. It was just, number one, it was dumb, right? That's just not a smart move, in my opinion. And two, he violated team policy, right? Like, you have to know what the rules of your job are. And no matter how silly you think the rules are, or no matter, you know, how dumb you think they are, they're the rules. And they can fire you over those rules, right? So you got to know the game, man. Like, your whole point, the reason why you go to work is to get a check, to get that money. So the rules are an obstacle for you to hop over so you can get that check, right? So if you throw the rules out the window and do what the fuck you want to do, you're probably not gonna have a check pretty soon, you know? So like I said, man, I don't know. It's like I said, I hope he gets another coaching job. I think he has to go. I think they have to part ways. But when they part ways, I want to see him coach another team, you know? Hey, maybe the Wizards, you know? He's a great coach, you know? But just he has to kind of let this die down for a minute because he's going to be answering questions for this. He's going to be known for this more than his coaching abilities, right? He's going to be known for inappropriate relations with staff members more than a head coach, and that's sad. But rules are rules, man. I remember when I was at Camp Blue Ridge, they had this thing where they had this rule where it was the rule was no camper staff relationships or no camper staff relations, right? And that's pretty obvious, right? Because if you're a staff member, you're probably like in your 20s, 30s, and the kids go up to maybe like 16, 17, right? But there were some kids on staff. There were some kids on staff that were like 17, right? And I remember there's one situation. They had this one dude had like a relationship with this one chick, and they were trying to hide that shit. And then like the staff member's sister knew about it, and she was all stressed out, and they weren't trying to let it out the bag. But dude was like, "Man, I love her, man. Man, I'm not letting her go." I was like, man. So the older sister, man, was stressed out because like she knew about it, and it's like, yo, if they find out about this joint, her job gone too. So, you know, end of the day, man, it's like, um, that's a tough one too, because ain't no way the fuck I'm letting you fuck up my check over love, man. Nah. Like if I tell you, man, you gotta end that shit. If you don't end that shit by Friday, I'm gonna go snitch. See, now I'm in it. So now that's like blackmailing, right? So you're better off just snitching, just being like, hey, so and so, or put in an anonymous tip, because I can't let you fuck up my bread, man. I can't let you do it. Can't do it. And the thing was, it wasn't like, so from a legal standpoint, it wasn't illegal because like they were both in the same like age range. Like one was 17. I think they were both 17, but just one was a staff and one was a camper, So, but that would have like violated their policy at camp, and then whoever knew about it, was also going to be subject to disciplinary action as well, But nah, man, like I said, man, wow, yeah, just like I said, just my advice to anybody, man, is like I said, just yeah, if you at work, man, be about that work, go home. Like I said, treat your job like a bathroom stall, man. Go in there, do your business, come out, wash your hands, go home. Like I know a lot of people that want to make work home, and that's admirable, Like, yeah, I get it. I mean, you wanna build some shit, but at the end of the day, you don't own that shit. So how are you gonna build something on something that you don't own? Anyway, I think I've said enough for what I wanted to say. I think I beat this horse enough. Like I said, my opinion, this was a silly mistake, or a silly. This was just dumb, yo. Like, you don't do this, yo. Like, nah. Nah, you don't have inappropriate relations with people at work. That's what I was gonna say. That's the last thing I'm gonna say on this, right? So when I did this acting class, and when I got my syllabus for the acting class, I did this acting class maybe a couple years ago, and on the top of the I still got the syllabus. On the top of the syllabus, in bold print, in bold, it said, rule number 1, don't fuck each other. And so when we went over the syllabus with the class, we started laughing. Like, we thought it was a joke. And the teacher in the class just looked at everyone seriously and was like, nah, I'm serious. Rule number 1, in this entertainment business, and especially in this business, don't fuck each other. And we all were like, yo, why would she say this, right? So she basically broke it down and was like, she's basically coached people that have been in like movies, hit sitcoms, hit TV series, all these people. She's like plugged in the industry, and she's seen situations where two people start off in the class that we're in. They start dating, they get in a relationship, they fuck around, they have intimate relations, and then one of them, or basically they end up breaking up, and then one of them ends up elevating their career, and they can open doors for anybody. But that person that they had a relationship with that didn't go well, when that person was looking for a come up, or they were trying to, get put on, the person that they fooled around with back then was the gatekeeper, and they blocked that motherfucker. And that's happened lots of times, many times, So I remember I was in this one acting, so in the same acting class I was in, needless to say, like, it wasn't, this is not just me talking, but the general consensus was the dudes were like, every chick in that class was hot. Like, they were bad. Like, some of these chicks been in TV shows. I've seen some in a few commercials and stuff. And they were all bad, like, and then I had some friends of mine that like knew some of the chicks or whatever, and they were like, yo, Dre, man, how come you ain't pushing up on that? Yo, man, if I was in that class, man, I'll be trying to study lines with her all day. Man, I'll be trying to read her lines, and man, I'll be trying to sleep over, man. I'll be trying to go lay up. I'm like, yeah, that's why, Hollywood, that's why this industry not for you, because you don't get it. I know that these people, the people I'm working with, they could get elevated anytime. And if we had a relationship and if our shit went sour, guess what they gonna do? They gonna block me every chance. Like there might be a perfect role for me that's the best role that I'm the best candidate for, you know? And I'm not gonna fuck that over some pussy. You know what I'm saying? Like that's dumb. You know what I'm saying? So I got it, you know? So from day one, I'm like, look, I mean, here's the thing, right? When you put so when you put in over $1,000 or a couple thousand, you put in a couple $1,000s into an acting class, you know, and they tell you not to do something, you're gonna listen to what the fuck they got to say because, you know, they have a track record. They know what they're talking about. You know, like I'm not there to waste my money or my time. You know, so yeah, nah. So that, like I said, you know, for anybody like in the industry or even if you're in a corporate 9-to-5 setting, just don't shit where you eat, man. Just don't do that shit. You know, and you guys can see from here why you don't want to do that. Okay, cool. So I've hit on that enough. And now I want to go ahead and I'm going to give you guys a preview for my Dre and his damn bills segment that's coming up this weekend. So before we go any further, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tell a friend to tell a friend, do all that fun internet stuff. Like I said, internet, like the old people say. They don't say internet, they say internet. INNNET. Like, hey, baby, go on the internet and go print out my documents, baby. Yeah, man, do all that fun internet stuff. But let me take a sip of this water right quick. But so I'm working on the next segment of my Dre and his damn bills. I'm gonna go ahead and give y'all a preview right now. It's real simple, real short story. So I don't have any. Well, I have Super Bowl 27 stuff, but it's all back at my mom's house in Maryland. I got t-shirts, hoodies, all this shit. But this story comes from Super Bowl 27. It's when the Bills got destroyed by the Cowboys, 17-52. This was a painful game. I'm not going to recant the whole Super Bowl 27 for you, but there was a specific instance where we had a family member or a friend of the family. His name was Ernest. Ernest was my mom's friend's husband. Ernest, this motherfucker talks so much shit. He was a typical DMV Cowboys fan, you know, because as you guys know, like 60 to 65% of Cowboy fans, or 60 to 65% of people in the DMV are Cowboy fans, right? So when you go to like FedEx Field, it's gonna be like a Cowboys game, but with like 40% Redskin fans in that joint, you know. Like it's a hard divide, but the Cowboys, DMV has more Cowboy fans than Commander fans or Redskin fans. I'm still getting used to calling them the Commanders, but Ernest, man, was a typical annoying DMV Cowboys fan, man. He just would always like pick on me, man. I remember, so he came over for Super Bowl 27 and we lost last year and he was like, hey man, like he had one of them voices like, hey man, what's going on? Like he had one of them deep manly voices and shit, right? He always came in and was like, y'all gonna do it this year? I don't think y'all gonna do it this year. It's my Cowboys. You know, he was talking all this shit. And we were getting mollywopped, you know. And I had this one classmate of mine. Her name was Priya Narangi. And she basically was like, you know, in school, she told me, she's like, hey, if there's anything that you want to do or anything that you want to have happen, you just need to sit down and focus on it and meditate and focus. And it's going to put the energy into the universe to make that shit happen, right? So it's halftime. Bills are getting beat by the Cowboys. We're getting beat bad. So I run upstairs, right? It's the Michael Jackson halftime show. Michael Jackson did his Heal the World tour for the halftime show. So for the halftime show, I ran upstairs. I was so mad. I shut the room. Ernest was talking shit. I shut the door and I started meditating. I was like, yo, the Bills need to come back the same way how they came back against the Oilers, right? Because the Oilers comeback game was that same season. So I'm like, okay, this is what we're going to do. The Bills can come back. We can do it, you know? So I was meditating. I was drawing pictures. I was staying focused. But when I came downstairs, I came down like towards the end of the Michael Jackson halftime tour. And Ernest started singing along, right? So Michael Jackson was singing Heal the World. And Ernest started singing along, but he did his own version of the song. You know, he was like, oh, there's Andre. Andre, heal the Bills. Make them a better team for Andre's family and the entire human race. Oh shit, Andre's crying. Okay, I'm gonna shut the fuck up. Hey Andre, man, man, your mom's wings. Oh, the shit. My mom made chicken wings and shit. So he be like, yo, Dre, man, your mom's chicken wings are good, man, but them Bills is some shit. Man, pass the blue cheese, you know? So that's kind of like a story that I'm working on for, you know, it's gonna be a short story for this week's segment. But Ernest, man, this motherfucker, man, would talk more shit. This dude talked so much shit about these damn Cowboys, man. So for the rest of the second half, I had to watch these Bills just get destroyed. And Ernest just laughing. Hey, man, pass the chicken wing with the blue sauce, man. Hey, I need some more of that blue sauce dip. Hey, man. Hey, your mom's wings ain't. You be like, man, your mom's wings are good as hell, man, but your Bills is some bullshit, man. Pass the wings. God damn, man. So I had to sit there and listen to this motherfucker for a whole Super Bowl talk shit in my house. Eating my mom's cooking and talking shit. You know, so anywho, that's the story. That's the Dre and his damn Bills story, probably for the weekend. And I made a spreadsheet. I made a list of all the Bills stories I have. I have about 40 stories, man. So tune in, follow the hashtag Dre and his damn Bills. You know, where I'm gonna talk more of this shit about these Bills. What else we got going on, man? You know what? I'm running over a little bit. I'm not. Come on, Dre. Man, that was bad. I'm not gonna do a comedy bump today because I'm kind of running over. But coming up, like I said, I got some. I got a few workout rooms. I'm gonna go work out in with this comedy. Work out some jokes. What else? I got coming up. Be on the lookout for Drain His Damn Bills. Episode number 3, that's coming out, all social media platforms. Also, next Thursday, you know, or next Friday, look out for Trippin with Theobold. I'll be back with episode number 57. You know, coming at you live. So make sure you guys tune in for that. But like I said, before we go any further, before I wrap up, you know, make sure you guys give it a like. You know, if you got a question or a comment or something that you want to talk about or something that you want me to address, put it in the comment section. Like I said, I don't filter none of my comments out. All comments that I put in get addressed. So with all that being said, I'm out of here, folks. Peace.